Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslock talking about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I really wanted to talk to you about how much it actually costs to hire an editor in whether you're doing sort of the self-publishing route, you're a writer of some sort, whether you're an academic of some sort. What should you do and how much does it actually cost to get a editor? I'm going to get into how much it actually costs. Then I'm going to get into sort of some schools of thought. And then I'm going to suggest, what are the possibles or alternatives or something that I created that I think is actually kind of interesting. So, the first thing is how much does it actually cost to hire an editor? When I'm talking about an editor, I'm talking about a writer editor, right? So somebody that's actually going to help you with your writing. That might be somebody that is going to do the proofreading as well as the copy editing, the content editing, as well as going through the material. I'm kind of thinking about this broadly as somebody that's going to help you get to the point where you have better writing. So somebody that's actually going to get their hands dirty and not just do sort of the occasional sort of minor changes and things like that. So again, I can't remember if I told you already, but I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And I had this particular problem with my own work. So I have a lot of issues with my own work. I am not the best writer. I have all sorts of problems with distractions and kind of not getting the words out correctly and not knowing how to sort of structure things. It's been really tough for me. So I thought, I'm sort of an engineer kind of person. I am an engineer, and as well as, I'm trained in entrepreneurship and stuff. So I thought I'd actually sort of create something to sort of navigate this problem. But anyways, with that, I'll tell you all about that in a minute. So the first school of thought is that you have to pay for some sort of editor with your writing to improve it, right? So a copy editor or something like that. And that's going to cost you. And I have somebody that I rely on, it often will cost you thousands of dollars, whatever it is. Maybe it's, so for me, I would do academic writing, so I write articles. And that, it costs me sometimes thousands of dollars to find somebody that's truly is amazing, and the person that I rely on is truly amazing. You can find other people that probably do it much more cheaper. I used to, in high school, I used to get my mom to help me out and that kind of stuff. And I just can't ask her to do that now. It's just, I can't. So it could cost you anywhere from, say, $500 to thousands of dollars for, 30, 40, 50 pages. But then once you start getting into, and traditionally, so writers and editors editors of any sort will charge by the word, right? Because you could put a lot of stuff into a page. So what they're going to do is charge you per word, and it could be anywhere from probably a couple of cents to, 5 cents a word. And it sort of depends on what they're looking at and what they're going through. It's depends on the content and all that kind of stuff. So it could add up. If you're writing a book of some sort and it's, a couple hundred pages of written work, maybe, 80,000 words, for example, it's going to start adding up, and you're going to start looking into probably the 5,000 to 10,000 range to get that work edited. And a lot of editors are not all that good. I apologize. A lot are amazing, right? Truly, truly amazing people that are going to help you out, but some are not all that good, and they're not going to help you out in a lot of different ways. So the other sort of school of thought, and that's going to be really expensive, especially if you're sort of a first-time person that's doing sort of self-publishing and things like that. It's going to be outside of your price range by far, right? Like you're expecting your first book that you ever write or first thing you ever write, you're expecting to make nothing, maybe a couple $100 if you're amazing. That's just kind of, unfortunately, that's kind of what the range is, right? And when you first start out and you develop something. So the second thing is you just get out there and you start writing as much as you possibly can and write. And that is a really good school of thought, and you just kind of don't really consider you don't really consider the quality as much. And I do that personally for a lot of different things. So for example, right now, currently as it stands, I'm not really going through and editing. I'm writing a bunch of stuff for the notes, but I'm not really going through and editing that much. Every once in a while, I'll put it through in the system that I created. But in general, I'm just putting it out there, and that is fine, because what you're trying to do is build an audience, and that's sort of, you're just getting out there and being raw and putting stuff out, and that is totally cool. And when you're writing a book, though, or writing something larger like an academic article or something that really matters, you probably don't want to do that. It's going to hurt you a lot in the long run, right? Because you're going to get a lot of barriers along the way. So what I personally did, and what I had this sort of interesting idea. I thought I'd actually create some sort of software system that would help us, help you, and help many different people to sort of navigate these particular issues where the problem when you sort of get sort of feedback from somebody else, or the people are just not incentivized. They're not going to help you out in any sort of way. They're going to be like, whatever, buddy. And truly, that I bumped into that a lot, and they just don't really care. And then the other side is it's too expensive, right? It starts adding up, and it's really expensive. And sometimes, depending on what the document is, it's, you're kind of in a gray zone. So I wanted to create something that was really fun and easy to use. So I created this software platform called Reciprocity. It's a proofreading platform. It's called Reciprocity.com. And really what you do is it actually tries to find quality editors for you. So you can go. So the cool thing is you go on there and you actually edit somebody else's work to get credits, and once you get credits for that, you start building it up, and then you can get your own work edited. You could pay for it at the beginning, and that's probably the way that I would do it, and I've been doing it, is I've just been paying. It takes a little bit of time sometimes to go through find the editor, but I'm sort of sorting that out as I go and develop this, and as people start using a little bit more, I'm sorting out the sort of mechanism to speed that. But generally, it tries to find really good people that are going to give you feedback and help you out and try to reduce the cost as much as possible, and as well as sort of create this community where you can help other people, and it sort of provides feedback much more quicker. It's kind of like a writing circle or something like that, or a beta reader, where you're actually truly finding people that are incentivized to do that kind of stuff. And that's really hard to do. It's hard to find those particular people that are willing to do that and give you feedback, and to create this particular community, right? It's hard to do, so I thought it'd be really cool. The other cool thing that I wanted to do, and this is sort of part of, a big, broader sort of academic agenda, is, I want to explore some really cool things with research. You could look at some of my other videos with that, with helping people out and incentivizing people to be amazing and wonderful and awesome. So the idea is to create some sort of system to reduce the cost as much as possible. It's called the transaction cost of getting feedback, reduce as much as possible, such that people are willing to sort of participate and help other people, and create this utopia, I guess, right, of some sort of writing website where people can actually help each other, other people out, and it is working. It was really cool. I can sort of put stuff on there. It takes time, but it comes back, and people have edited it and helped out and stuff, and they get credits for that, which is really neat. So it's getting around this particular problem of these sort of two schools of thought, where one is you're paying a lot up front, and the other one is you really don't know the quality. So it's trying to create a system where you actually have feedback on both the editors, and I'm going to start building that in eventually, getting some more feedback for the editors and for you as the writers. And then the other thing is, incentivizing people to participate in some sort of environment where it's really easy to do that kind of stuff, where people can join and participate. So that's really what I'm trying to do, is navigate the sort of in-between area, right? So, it's going to be really expensive. The people that are kind of, it's really hard to find somebody that is going to help you. And a lot of people don't have their mom and don't have their dad to help them out with sort of writing. And that's really what starts to happen after a while with a lot of people. And then, people that are kind of in between, they can't afford a lot of money to spend on an editor or a writer and things like that. So it's to create this sort of system where it's in between, and it creates kind of this sort of in between spot, right, is really what I'm trying to do at this moment, and to build it out, to make it as useful as possible. So that's what I wanted to tell you about. And so did I not answer? So how much does it cost to hire an editor? If you're trying to do the self-publishing thing, if you're trying to do sort of smaller things, right? So maybe 30, 40 pages, you're looking at anywhere up to maybe $1,500 American USD. And if you're trying to do something bigger, like a book, it's going to cost you probably $5,000 to $10,000 for that kind of thing. So that's the kind of answer with that. Hopefully with this system that I'm building, it's going to reduce the cost dramatically, as well as allow you to help other people out. So even if you don't have the money, as long as you're helping other people out, then it's essentially free. And I tried to create it so there's no system fees for you to actually go and participate on that particular platform if you're just helping other people out. So there's absolutely no system fees at that moment if you're just wanting to help other people out. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. That's my whole story spiel. All right. Well, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.